Hello there guys, got a little Bitcoin update video ready for you guys because I don't know about you, but I'm having a little bit of fun watching the Bitcoin price absolutely moon. We're up 55% from just earlier this year in July when we broke out of this very important consolidation structure, marking what I think is going to be one of the craziest Bitcoin bull runs we are going to see. And then when we zoom in on more recent price action, we can see that we're up 31% in the past 2 weeks alone. Now we're going to be having a look at some of the big news headlines that's causing this recent pump in the Bitcoin price. And then we're going to be having a look at some charts towards the end of the video. So yesterday we had Singapore's largest bank come out and say they're offering crypto trading platforms. That's for a lot of different crypto assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. We've got the largest institutional companies in the world coming into the Bitcoin space. Here we're looking at a little chart of the companies around the world that are holding Bitcoin. So we have Grayscale investment trust are holding 500,000 Bitcoins. Guys, remember, there's only going to be 21 million, and these companies are absolutely gobbling them up at the moment, guys. We are running out of Bitcoin. We've got, after the Singapore bank came out yesterday, we've also got 34 Indian banks following suit. Okay, this is the domino effect, guys. More and more of these larger players are coming in. They all want to get in before the price absolutely moons. We're having a look here at some of the monthly returns of the Bitcoin price. Okay, so as you can see historically in Bitcoin's 12-year history, October and November seem to be the best performing months for Bitcoin. Now, I don't know about you guys, get your calendar out. We're in October right now, so buckle up. This rocket ship is only just getting started, okay? Our average October returns are around 35%. So this is 12 years worth of history. And then you've got November. Our average returns are around 60% for the month, guys, okay? October and November, very bullish months for Bitcoin. So we're going to be having a look. We know that this is only the beginning of this 3-year bull market. If you haven't seen my other videos where we analyze the 3-year bull market in a lot more detail and where I expect the Bitcoin price to be in 5 years, 2025 or even by 2030, go and check these videos out. I'll pop them up on screen for you now. But we know that on this channel we have a very bullish price targets for Bitcoin, okay? We're macro bulls.
$100, a conservative estimate of a 50x price return puts the Bitcoin price at, well, around 150,000 US dollars. And for my Australian friends, that's well over 200,000 Australian dollars. Now stay tuned for part 3, guys, where we show just how conservative that $155,000 price forecast for the coming 3-year bull market is. Very, very conservative when we look at the entire global macro environment. As we touched on in part 1, Bitcoin has a big role to play in this global financial reset.
Yes, as you can tell from those earlier videos, guys, you guys know that I'm very, very bullish on the Bitcoin price in the long term. But let's have a look at the short term, okay? I'll jump my big head off the screen so we can have a look at some charts for you guys today, guys. How am I so sure that it's only the big institutional players that are currently driving the price of Bitcoin up? Well, let's have a look at the Google trends. Back here in the 2017 mania, where we're in that very overbought territory for the Bitcoin price, you can see that the Google trends was very high for Bitcoin. Okay, that was because we had a lot of retail speculators in the space they didn't understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin and were just buying at any price. But if you have a look at the same Google trends now, have a look at the search trends for Bitcoin. We're not in mainstream media yet, guys. We are not all over the news like we were back in 2017. Okay, that was when the price spiked up to nearly 20,000. We're already nearly at 14,000 now, and the Google trends is nowhere near what it was back in the 2017 bull run. For anyone who has forgotten, we're talking about this period here in the Bitcoin price where we ran from around 2,000 to 20,000 in a year. Okay, that was largely driven by retail speculators and uneducated speculators in the Bitcoin price. At the moment, this recent run up in the Bitcoin price has all been due to the larger players getting involved, the smart money, the institutional money getting ready for the next 3-year bull market in the Bitcoin price. Now, we can be sure of that because the Google Trends says the retail speculators aren't here yet. And you can also starting to see some of the larger companies around the world, such as JP Morgan, changing their tune, guys. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen my earlier videos, we know that JP Morgan came out and famously said in 2017 that Bitcoin was a fraud and he would fire any of his clients who were caught trading Bitcoin. Okay, now I'm going to throw up a little clip for you guys to have a look at that exposes this a little bit, because we know that JP Morgan not only manipulates the Bitcoin price, but he's also been caught on numerous occasions manipulating the gold and the silver price, and they have been charged. I think they've been charged more than 5 times manipulating the silver price, suppressing it, and loading up, getting ready for this great financial reset. But throw to the clip.
Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
Yes, that's right, guys. That's how criminals and central banking cartels operate. They manipulate the price in the eyes of the public so that everybody sells their bags while they're quietly buying up the asset on the cheap, okay? The central banks have been caught doing this on numerous occasions, manipulating the gold and the silver price, okay? They're fiat currency criminals. That's what they are, guys. They steal your wealth and they suppress the price of the hard money assets, such as Bitcoin, gold, and silver, okay? But JP Morgan has changed his tune because he's loaded up enough Bitcoin for this bull run. He's now come out, and let's read this headline together, guys. For years, JP Morgan was skeptical of Bitcoin. Now the bank's analysts say its value could triple, challenging gold. Oh, what a surprise, guys. He's loaded up, and now he's stopped shorting Bitcoin, and now he's going to let it fly, okay? This is the next stage of the bull run, and we have not even started this bull run yet, okay? Touching on the retail traders not being in the Bitcoin space yet, I went out today wearing my beautiful Ask Me About Bitcoin shirt, and no, I'm not joking, I literally had a lady ask me, what is Bitcoin today, okay? Trust me, the sheep aren't aware of what Bitcoin's doing, okay, guys? They're just blindly sitting at home, too scared to leave their house because of a so-called virus. They've got their muzzles on, plugged into their brainwashing TV, okay? They don't know what's going on outside of the TV, guys. And let me tell you, Bitcoin hasn't popped up on the TV yet like it was in 2017. So we are very early in this bull run, but at risk of being called a so-called conspiracy theorist, we'll leave the tinfoil hat for another video and we'll go down that rabbit hole of health situations in another video. Let's move on to another chart I've been looking at. Here on the chart, we're looking at Bitcoin, which is in red, and we've got the 2 largest stock market indexes, which is the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. And we've been waiting for Bitcoin to break away and decouple itself from the stock market indexes, because ever since the corona crash earlier in March this year, we've been very tightly correlated. Every time the stock markets dump, we dump, and every time the stock markets are rallying, Bitcoin is rallying as well. But as you can see, over the previous couple of weeks, Bitcoin here in red looks to be kind of taking off and moving away from the stock markets and doing its own thing, which is a very good sign for this coming bull market. But remember, we do still have those elections going down in America in a couple of weeks, and you know the situation with our financial system reset, which hasn't happened yet, so you never know what you're going to see in the stock market. So be on the lookout for some volatility in all asset classes across the world. And here's another chart I wanted to show you guys. This is the volume by price. So as you can see here, the large volume bars here on the side show how much volume or trading action has occurred at certain levels. And as you can see, the bars are the biggest, in between the prices of around $5,000 to $12,000. That means there's a lot of support and resistance in that area. And it's very simple kind of trading analytics, I guess you would say. Once you get above this kind of price range, there's not a whole lot of resistance for the Bitcoin price. So that means it could move very quickly to the upside. And I'm just going to show you a little bit more of a better kind of detailed look at that. So we've got Bitcoin here, and these red lines represent where those volume bars were. So as you can see, guys, since we broke that $12,000 price range, that is very important, because up here we have not spent a lot of time above $12,000 to $13,000. We've actually just had our highest weekly candle close here in the previous week for Bitcoin. That was the highest weekly close we've had since all the way back in January 2018. So this means we could be moving very quickly once we're above 12k. This is where the fireworks could really happen. But remember, nothing moves up in a straight line, guys. We're going to take a bit of a look, take a step back and have a look at the 2017 bull market. I've done a whole video showing how many crashes and corrections you can expect to see along the way in a bull market. In the previous bull market, I think we had 7 crashes greater than 40%. Okay, I'll throw a clip up where we covered that one.
Sell your position only to watch the Bitcoin price rip from $500 all the way up to the $20,000 peak up here in December of 2017. In under a year, in around a year and a half or so, the Bitcoin price ripped from $200 to $300 down here in our cycle low, all the way to $20,000. Imagine selling your position in the first 20 to 30% pullback because you don't understand how the 3-year cycles work.
Yes, that's right, guys. Bull markets are a bumpy ride. If you want to find out the more specifics of what to look for in a lot more detail of when we could be seeing one of these 30 or 40 price crashes or corrections along the way, go and check out that other video. We cover it in much more detail. But when we're having a look at more recent price action right now, you can see the RSI on the weekly scale is beginning to be a little bit overbought, okay? Be prepared for any kind of pullback back to that 21-week exponential moving average line. We are becoming a little bit overextended from that one at the moment, guys. Okay, we are on our way, in my opinion, to at least $150,000 over the next year, and in the long term you're going to see prices of Bitcoin that are really going to knock your socks off. Okay, but we're not going to get there in a straight line. It's going to be a very bumpy kind of road. Okay, you're going to see lots of corrections and crashes along the way, because if all kind of markets just moved up in a straight line, everybody would be able to make money. It would be easy. You need to shake out the weak hands along the way. So I think we're going to move on to one of the last things we're looking at today. We're looking at a tweet from Alex Saunders over at Nuggets News. He has a great YouTube channel. Go and check his stuff out. But we're having a look at this tweet here. Now, as you can see, this shows these 2 black lines down here is what we're looking at the moment. Back in 2018, after this big bear market, everybody was screaming, saying, oh, look, we're going to hit the $6,000 resistance. We're going to bounce off these 2 black lines and head back down to 3K. It's what happens in a bear market. Literally everyone was screaming this, guys, okay? But as you can see, what Alex is saying, we slice through that resistance level like hot butter, okay? And at the moment, you can see everybody's saying the same things at the moment about these two black lines, which is the 13.8 and the 14k resistance level. Everybody's saying, oh, this is where we're going to have a correction. This I'm going to buy back later when it's a bit cheaper, okay, guys? But what if we just slice through that resistance level and head straight to 20k with no corrections, okay? Who knows what's going to happen in the short term? Short-term price predictions are nearly goddamn impossible, okay, guys? Especially in a bull market. Bitcoin has been printing all of these bearish patterns over the previous couple of weeks, and I myself have fell victim trying to call short-term corrections. As you can see here, back in the $11,000 range, you were seeing what we call a typical kind of topping pattern, a head and shoulders pattern, and we were seeing bearish divergences, okay, indicating we were probably due for a correction. Here in the $11,000 range, boom, Bitcoin had a mind of its own, okay? It ripped all the way up to the $12,500 level. Again, you get a head and shoulders topping pattern, okay? You've got a shoulder here, you've got a head, and then you've got another right shoulder. And if you break the neckline, this one here, you're expected to have a measured move a lot further down. Everybody was saying, hey, look, we got a head and shoulders. Boom, Bitcoin rips again up to where we are currently, that 13.8 or the $14,000 level. So it's just a reminder that in the short term, I myself and no one knows where the price is going to go. Okay, it's much easier to take a step back and have a look at the long term. Okay, guys, we're long-term investors here, not financial advice. Otherwise, I'll get deplatformed here on YouTube. But remember, it's all about the long term. Now, we're going to finish up on one more tweet here, I think, today, guys, from Dan Heddled. Bitcoin is priced in for the 0.1% of the world population that understands it. The other 99.9% aren't paying attention. What happens when they do? I'll tell you what happens. 15 million per coin. That's the math. If you want to know how I got that math, go and check out my other video, which I'll chuck up on screen. But I think that'll probably do us for today, guys. This little impromptu kind of video I just chucked together. I was just feeling a little bit bullish watching the Bitcoin price rip 55% over the past month or so, I think. Let's have a look at that, guys, just while we're here. I think we've moved 55% in the past couple of months. Yes, that is where we're at, guys. Since that breakout, we are up 53% since we broke out of that very key long-term triangle structure we've been in. Okay, this is just the beginning of a huge bull market. If you're feeling bullish like me, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe buttons down below. And if you have any ideas of what you want me to cover in the next video, leave them in the comment section. But that'll probably do it for today, guys. We'll catch you at the moon. See you guys.